Hi, everybody. I want to do a lesson about discovering your own writing process. So, in this lesson, I'm going to have you do some writing in which you discover that writing is really a recursive process in which you're blending together brainstorming, planning, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. This particular lesson that we're going to be doing today is inspired by Donald Murray, who's written several books about teachers as writing teachers and teachers as writers. And so this particular activity that we're going to do is called the Murray card activity. What I need for you to do for this particular activity is to get 6 index cards. If you don't have access to index cards, you can just use 6 pages in your day book. That's fine as well. Um, you're going to need a pencil or a pen, and then you're also going to need a couple different colored pencils or a couple different colored pens, uh, because we're going to be doing some different things with your writing that's going to involve you editing and revising, and I would like for you to do those in different colors. All right, so here we go. Throughout this particular uh, presentation, I'm going to ask you to pause the video while you go off and do the writing for a couple minutes. So I need everybody to get card number one ready or page number one ready for the first part of this exercise. For the first part, I need you to make 2 columns on either side of your card. So that if you're looking at your one card, you're going to have 4 columns, 2 columns on the front and 2 columns on the back. Or if you're doing this in your day book, just take 2 pages in your day book and make 4 columns across. In column one, I'm going to ask you to just to make a whole list of influential people in your life. These are influential people in good ways, influential people in bad ways. It could be family members, friends, colleagues, people that have come in and out of your life, people that might have been bad influences, or people who have changed your life in bad ways, people who have changed your life in really great ways. And I would like for you just to take 2 minutes or so and fill up that column. In column two, I want you to make a list of significant places. These are places that you've lived, that you've spent a lot of time in, places that you've visited, places that are meaningful to you in some way. So I want you to consider cities that you've lived in, or towns, or counties. I want you to think of important places from your childhood that evoke something. So for me, it would be like my grandparents' basement, where I spent a lot of time playing ping pong and pool and all sorts of cool stuff. Um, it could be travel. So on my own card, I would have all sorts of different places that I've traveled around the country and around the world. It can also be significant places where important things have happened. So for me, I grew up Catholic, so there would be probably significant stories that I have that take place within church, whether it be my first communion, or whether it be my first confession, or uh, getting married. I actually got married in a Presbyterian church, so but significant places in your life where you might have some stories to tell. In column three, I want you to think of the significant events from your life, both good and bad. So, what are some of these different milestones, some different things that have happened in your life that really you could tell stories about? It could be births, deaths, accidents, joys, accomplishments, um, accidents. Did I already say accidents? Just anything that if you were to make a timeline of your life, it would probably be a marker somewhere there on your timeline. Finally, in column four, I want you to think about something that you know a lot about or that you want to know a lot about. This could be something that you're good at, or a hobby, or a sport, or something that you are just informed about. For me, it would be different things like teaching writing, or playing tennis, or playing racquetball, or I know a lot about memoir, or I know a lot about teaching reading. I know a lot about raising children. Uh, So think about what are these things that you know a lot about, because that could be a possibility for things to write about. After you've taken some time just filling up those columns with lists, I want you to ask yourself what appeared on the page that you didn't expect. I also want you to circle 3 things on your card or your page that really sticks out to you. I want you to pause the video and go ahead and do that right now. Okay, if you paused the video, great. That's what I wanted you to do. We're back, and we are now working on card number 2. So for card number 2, um, what I would like for you to do on this card is you have a couple choices. One, I want you to free write. I want you to pick one of those things that you circled, and I want you to write for 3 minutes. So set a timer somewhere on a watch, on an iPhone, whatever you have, a device that you have, and stop yourself after 3 minutes. So a 3-minute draft. Or you can take 3 minutes and continue to brainstorm by listing more things on your card. So I want you to pause me right now and do that for 3 minutes. Okay, if you've come back, great. Thank you for pausing and doing that work. I now want you to ask yourself, what do you intend to do next? All right, we're going to move on to card number 3. Card number 3, you have some more choices. You can either focus on one point that you wrote on a previous card and really continue to develop it by adding more details to it. Or you could just continue drafting whatever story that you started. Or you can go back and brainstorm again. What I would like for you to do is pause me for about 3 minutes and do this work. So again, set your timer for 3 minutes and choose one of these things to do on card number 3. Okay, if you've paused me and you've come back, great. This is what I want you to ask yourself next. Whoops, sorry, that was another choice. Start over with a new topic. Sorry about that. Now what I want you to do is ask yourself, what is this piece of writing telling you? What is this piece of writing really saying? For card number 4, you have choices. If you've started drafting a piece from maybe your point of view, change the point of view to somebody else who might be in your story. So you're going to be revising your card based on changing the point of view. Or continue to focus on one point and develop it. Or continue drafting. Or brainstorm again. Or start over with a whole new topic. So I want you to pause me for 3 minutes and I want you to work on card number 4. All right, if you pause me, thank you. I now want you to ask yourself, what do your readers need to know that you haven't told them yet? Moving on to card number 5. You have choices. Look across your cards and edit them for clarity, paying close attention to grammar, usage, and spelling. Or change the point of view and write from somebody else's perspective. Or focus on one point and develop it further. Or continue drafting. Or brainstorm again. Or start over with a new topic. I want you to pause me for 3 more minutes. If you are choosing to edit for clarity, I want you to pick up that different colored pencil or different colored pen that you brought and use that to edit. So pause me for 3 minutes. Okay, now that you're back after doing this for 3 minutes, ask yourself, what edits do I still need to make? Finally, card number 6. You have choices. You can finalize your writing by publishing it. If you're happy with what you've done and you're good with it, then publish it. Consider it done. Or look across your cards and edit them for clarity, paying close attention to grammar, usage, and spelling. Or change the point of view, write from a different perspective. Or focus on one point and develop it. Or continue drafting. Or brainstorm again. Pause me for 3 minutes and finish card number 6. Okay, so we're back, and what I wanted to focus on is if you go through your cards, so let's go back and let's go through your cards one more time. And what I want you to do is realize for card number 1, most of you guys brainstormed. So pretty much we all started with the brainstorming session, but not all writers start with brainstorming. Sometimes writers just go right into drafting a piece. Card number 2, if you chose to free write, then card number 2 for you was drafting. If you decide to continue to brainstorm, then you, of course, were brainstorming. Card number 3, if you decided to focus on one point and develop it, you were revising. If you decided to continue drafting, you were drafting, and so forth and so forth. Card number 4, your focus was on changing the point of view, which again is revision. If you decide to do that with card number 4, you revised. Otherwise, you were either drafting or brainstorming, or starting all over again with a new topic. For card number 5, if you looked across your cards and edited them for clarity, then you were editing. Or you were revising, or you were revising, or you were drafting, or brainstorming, or starting all over again. Card number 6, you were either publishing, editing, revising, drafting, brainstorming, and brainstorming. So if we were in a class together and there was a whole group of us sharing our cards, there would probably be lots of different combinations of processes that you guys were using to create that particular piece of writing. You might have been brainstorming, drafting, revising, editing, publishing, or brainstorming, draft, revise, draft more, or brainstorm, draft, revise, draft, or brainstorm, draft, revise, edit, draft, revise. The whole point I'm trying to make here is that when writers write, sometimes they go through the sequential, I guess maybe step-by-step process of brainstorming, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing, but not always. Oftentimes, we are using these various processes recursively, and we're really kind of going between each of these different processes at once. So it doesn't necessarily follow such a linear model. That's why it's really important for us as teachers not to spend Monday brainstorming, Tuesday drafting, Wednesday revising, Thursday editing, and Friday publishing, because students aren't going to be at that particular phase of writing all at the same time. We're all going to be at different phases on our own time, and we might be all in different phases. So the one thing that I really want you to take away from this particular writing lesson is there's no such thing as the writing process. I hate when I see the word the in front of the 2 words writing process, because that assumes there's just one way that we create a piece of writing. There isn't. Everyone has their own process, and it varies from person to person, piece of writing to piece of writing. So when I write a particular piece, the way I write one particular piece might be completely different than the way I write a whole different piece. So remember this point. I'm going to just end it by repeating it. There's no such thing as the writing process. Everyone has their own process, and it varies from person to person, piece of writing to piece of writing. All right. Thanks, everybody.